Hi again, everybody. This is Jim with Atlas, and today we're going to talk about how to improve and maintain your blood sugar level. Over 1/3 of the US population today have what's called pre-diabetes. And over 70% of these people will develop overt type 2 diabetes in their lifetime. All of the damage and death and billions of dollars in cost of this disease are highly preventable. So type 2 pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetes itself are primarily what are regarded as diseases of lifestyle. So they're greatly avoidable and highly reversible with proper nutrition and exercise, hence lifestyle. So maintaining healthy blood sugar levels is really important for everybody, not just those with abnormal levels. So this discussion, really applies to everybody, not just pre-diabetic or diabetic. So what is normal blood sugar and what is normal A1C levels? So A1C is a test that's done in the lab through your doctor. And it's going to give an idea of what your long-term blood sugar levels are and have been. So A1C is a very important number to know. Normal A1C is going to be 5.7% or lower. Pre-diabetic, and then is 5.7 to 6.4%. And then diabetic level is 6.5% or higher. As far as blood sugar itself goes, normal is going to be a reading of 99 milligrams per deciliter, 99 or lower in a fasting glucose measurement. Pre-diabetic is going to be 100 to 125 milligrams per deciliter, and diabetic is 126 or higher. Now, I should note that especially in fasting blood sugar, one measurement never diagnoses anything. It's multiple measurements. In the case of prediabetes, over 100 and over 126 as far as diabetes goes. It's going to be multiple measurements, and it'll probably be followed up with in your doctor's office what's called the glucose tolerance test, where a big load of glucose is taken and blood sugar is measured every 30 to 60 minutes for up to 3 hours and to see how glucose clears from your bloodstream. So those are the numbers. We want to try to maintain that normal range with our blood sugar. Let's talk about some foods that can help you manage your blood sugar. And I have a list of a few of them here and what is in them that helps. Fish is high in omega-3 fatty acids, which are shown to help maintain blood sugar. Beans are high in, beans do have starch in them, but the starch is bound within the fiber of the bean or the legume. And that binding capacity also has an effect on starch outside of the food itself. It helps bind it up and clear it. B vitamins are also high, and minerals in legumes, beans, peas. Blueberries are high in a particular antioxidant called anthocyanins, and they give the blueberry its blue color. Apples are high in a key antioxidant called quercetin or quercetin. Nuts are high in vitamin E, folate, and magnesium. Grapefruit, vitamin A, vitamin C. Broccoli, vitamin C, K, folate, and minerals, etc. So you can see these particular broccoli, asparagus, yogurt, tomatoes, tea, and spinach. As far as tea goes, that's green tea, black tea, white tea, all the different teas. They're high in a antioxidant called polyphenol. So these are foods that you want to, particularly if you're if your numbers are elevated for fasting blood sugar, these are key foods to have. Foods that raise blood sugar. Everybody knows that excess starch in your diet can lead to elevated blood sugar levels and maintain elevated blood sugar levels. So let's talk about some foods. Now, there is an index called the glycemic index of food, which ascribes a number to different foods as far as their glycemic index goes. So, or the foods, how likely that particular food is to elevate and how fast it may elevate your blood sugar. So, again, glycemic index is a value assigned to foods based on how quickly and how high those foods cause increases in glucose level. I have a chart here with a number of different foods on it and what their glycemic number is. So starting on the low end, you have peanuts. Peanuts have a glycemic index of 14. At the top of the scale is glucose itself. Glucose is ascribed a number of 100. So you can't get much higher than 100. There are some foods that surprisingly can make it go higher, but glucose is really the standard as far as the peak of the scale at 100. Let's talk about some of the foods then in between. Again, we started with peanuts, which are very low. They're high in protein and fat, very little starch, very little sugar. So very low on the glycemic index at 14. White rice, I like to look at white rice in that it's really, really high. It's not as high as pure glucose, but it's pretty high at 64. And why is that? Why is say white rice is at 64, brown rice is lower at 55, and spaghetti, which is pure starch too, but it's way down at 42. Why is the difference in those? Now, the reason is rice is, individual grains of rice give rice a high surface area. So your body is going to be able to, your stomach is going to be able to break down and absorb white rice a lot faster than, say, brown rice. Brown rice has a thick fibrous fiber coating on it, and so it's broken down and absorbed more slowly. That's why brown rice is lower. Spaghetti has an even lower surface area than white or brown rice, so it's down at 42. So just to give you some ideas of what different foods look like on the glycemic index, I found a calculator. This is the best one I found in my research. MD Apps puts it out. It's a glycemic index calculator, and I have the website on your screen there that you can write down, and you go out and just enter whatever food you're having and see what its absorption and blood sugar elevating effect would be on the glycemic index. So we talked about food, and let's talk about now exercise and blood sugar. Regular exercise makes your body much more sensitive to insulin. It makes it react more. And insulin is a hormone produced by the pancreas that is there to take sugar out of the bloodstream and into the muscle tissue or fatty tissues, take it out of the bloodstream. Very important because it's elevated glucose in the blood that causes all the damage. So Regular exercise makes that a lot more sensitive. It makes it it makes it work better. And allows it to more readily regulate blood sugar and A1C. Now, the effect, a single bout of exercise, at least 30 minutes, has an effect, this effect of improving insulin sensitivity for 24 hours or more, just a single session. So question is, what type of exercise should you do to get the best effect in blood sugar regulation? Studies have shown that actually a combination of both strength and cardiovascular exercise has the best effect. Although just strength training or just cardiovascular exercise training both have positive effects in improving glucose sensitivity or insulin sensitivity. How often should you exercise? And the answer there is recommended at least 30 minutes and at least 3 times per week. So 30 minutes, 3 times per week is what you want to shoot for. More is fine, of course, but and less is better than none. Okay. But 30 minutes, 3 times a week to give you that, you have over 24 hours of effect with each session. So you kind of want to have at least spread out 3 times to get a good effect from the exercise. Reminder to always consult with your doctor before starting an exercise program, particularly if you've never had an exercise program, or maybe it's been a year or a long time since you did have an exercise program. Good idea to run it by your doctor. See if the doctor has any other restrictions or reminders or wants to give you any additional input as far as how you start your exercise. Do check your fasting blood sugar and A1C at least once a year if you're sedentary and or overweight. Much more sedentary and overweight, much more susceptible. And you do want to check that. I've had one client who a year earlier, glucose was normal. It was under 100 fasting. And after a year, same test, and it was off the charts. So it can kind of strike like that. So you do want to check that blood sugar level on a regular basis. Thanks for joining again, everybody. We'll talk, we'll have another subject to run by you next month. And stay healthy, take care. Have a great Thanksgiving. See ya.